Call this Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order on this December 1st, 2016. Could we please have roll call?
Commissioner Norbert,
Here.
Commissioner Colton,
Here.
Vice Chair Keating,
Here.
Chair Chapman,
Here.
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Bash.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Could you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Fitzler, do we have any current events or staff reports?
Yes, Chairman, members of the Commission. Just one thing, I'd like to welcome our new employee, Shirley Fan. She's a planner one with that was hired on by the city about a month or two ago. She comes to us as an intern from Goodyear. She's got a degree from Arizona State, and she's been fantastic so far. And you'll probably start seeing her in front of the Commission fairly soon. With that, that's my report.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay, the next item is that we have a call to the public for anyone that would like to address the board on any agenda item. Could you please fill out a public form that's in the lobby, and you could turn that into our secretary. I appreciate that. And for anyone that would like to speak to the commission on any item that is not on the agenda, this is the time you can do so. Seeing none, then we'll move on to the first item. A non-public hearing item is a consideration and action approving the November 17th, 2016 Planning and Zoning Commission minutes.
I move to approve. Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, would you please vote?
Motion passes 7 votes in favor.
Thank you. Next item is we'll have a public hearing following the presentation. Is that the number 2 item is the consideration and action regarding a major PAD amendment to the Desert Oasis at Surprise PAD to change the land use designation of approximately 8.08 acres of parcel L8 from commercial to medium density residential. This portion of Desert Oasis is located at the northwest corner of 171st Avenue and Joe Max Road. The applicant is also proposing to amend the required front setbacks for garage parcels L7 and L8B as described in the staff report. So we have a presentation by Sergio.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. So we'll be presenting tonight the major PAD amendment to the Desert Oasis PAD for Mirano at Desert Oasis Parcel 8. So the site's located north of Grand, west of 163rd along Joe Max Road in Desert Oasis. Here's just a close-up of the site there for you. It's located at the northwest corner of 171st Avenue. It's a vacant lot just south of an existing elementary school. Now, currently the zoning of the property is PAD. It's part of the Desert Oasis PAD and is surrounded by PAD zoning to the north and to the west. Part of the Asante PAD to the south, and residential low density zoning to the east. The parcel is parcel L8 of Desert Oasis. It's roughly 12.9 acres. Now, in the PAD, the designated land use for the subject parcel is commercial. And to the west of there, you have some medium density residential. To the north, the PAD designated the school parcel as a school or open space. So but the subject parcel has been designated as commercial. And with this application, the applicant is proposing to amend the land use for roughly 8.08 acres of parcel L8 from commercial to medium density residential. So originally, when the PAD was approved, the PAD envisioned roughly some medium density units for this PAD in parcel L6, which is the parcel west of parcel L7. The PAD envisioned 316 units. Earlier this year, the City Council approved a preliminary plat for 269 units. And for parcel L7, which is the parcel adjacent to the east of the subject lot, the PAD envisioned 106 units. With this application, if approved, the subject lot, which will become parcel L8-B to distinguish from the commercial lot, the applicant is proposing 33 units on those 8 acres, and he is proposing 90 units on parcel L7. So combining those two parcels and creating an entire subdivision. Now, one argument that the applicant brought forward with this application was that given the fact that there's an elementary school adjacent to this property, there are some limitations to the commercial uses as far as not selling any liquor. So the state statute states that no liquor could be sold within a 300-foot radius of any school. So that's what you see there. That's that buffer zone. And in the SUDC, we also have a section that speaks to the sale of liquor in taverns, bars, and lounges, which prohibits these type of uses within a 500-foot radius of a school, grades K through 12. So you see that buffer there as well. Now, along with that land use change in this application, the applicant's also proposing to amend the development standards for parcels L7 and this section of L8, which will be rezoned to medium density. So currently, for garages, front-facing garages, the PAD calls out an 18-foot setback. The applicant is proposing to increase that to a 20-foot setback. Typically, when a resident has a large truck, those 18 feet aren't enough. You sometimes get an overhang from that truck into the sidewalk. So the applicant is proposing to increase that to avoid any conflict with the sidewalk there. And also for side-loaded garages, currently the PAD calls out an 8-foot front setback. The applicant is proposing a 10-foot setback, and that's mainly to avoid any issues with any potential public utility easements, which are typically in the front of the lots and are typically 8 foot wide. So now this is a public hearing. It required a citizen outreach meeting. The applicant held that meeting in September. There was some concerns in how this project could potentially affect the open space of the area. Also, some traffic issues that have been going on along Joe Max and 163rd. And also, there was a big majority of the attendees that were that didn't want any more cluster homes, so any more of the 6-pack or 4-pack type of developments. But there was also some support to the project, given the fact that some of the residents up north didn't want a big box commercial store to be on that lot near their homes. They would prefer a smaller commercial center. So there was some support for this as well. With that, I conclude my presentation. Are there any questions or comments? I'd also like to inform you that the applicant is present here tonight. So if you had questions for the applicant, he can come up and answer.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. I'd like to open the public hearing for any community members that would like to speak at this time. Do we have any?
No.
Okay, thank you. Why don't we first by starting with Commissioner Norberg. Would you have any questions for Sergio?
Yes, on the paperwork that we got, I just want to clarify, on here it says that there are going to be, on the one, 106 lots, but you're saying it is only going to be 90 on L7.
Correct. So the PAD originally had envisioned 106 lots. Speaking with the applicant and his plans for the future for those parcels, he is envisioning only putting in 90 lots in there. So it'll be
Okay.
less than what the PAD had envisioned.
Okay, and the only other question I have is regarding the schools. Do you know what the proposed for the future of the schools out in that area, and how much more of that land out there is zoned residential?
Commissioner Norberg. So just want to pull the map back up. Yes, so in Desert Oasis, the rest of that northern lot, which goes from Jomax to Patton and on 171st to 179th on the west, it's all zoned for residential. The school is notified every time there's a new project coming in. So they are aware of this change, and we also do get feedback back from the school. In this case, the school responded that they had still space for what's being proposed, but yet in the future there will be a need for another school as the other lots develop.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Colton.
Hey, Sergio, a couple of questions for you. First, in regards to the cluster homes, does the builder currently have any 2 or 3 pack homes? I know the citizens' concerns really were worried about the 4 and the 6 packs. I just wondered if there were any 2 or 3 cluster packs as a part of this development.
For that, I'd like the applicant to come up and answer that question, as he may be more aware of the type of product that's probably going to be going in.
If you'd be so kind to speak your name and who you represent.
Hi, I'm Kent Zander, and I'm actually an owner of that property with a couple other gentlemen. So with regards to your question, first I'd like to answer your question real quick. The L7, you're allowed to do 90 lots on it, but I'm only going to do 77 lots. And the rezoning is going to have 33 lots on it for a total of 106 lots, which comes out to a 4.24 units per acre. With regards to the school, I've met with the school district. There's a letter of support on it. When that school was donated, that site was donated to the school back in 2005. They only got the site, but they didn't get any agreement for a donation agreement for rooftop fees. So L7 right now does not have an agreement with the school. So I could build that out right now and not pay them a rooftop fee. But I decided to, in my meeting, to go ahead and do a separate agreement with them. And they are going to get a rooftop fee for every house that's built in here. And then going with regards to your question on the 2-pack or 3-pack, our vision is to build a 50 wide lot in here, single family. We're not going to do any 2-packs, 3-packs, 4-packs, or 6-packs or anything like that. Sure. And furthermore, the street width in there will be 55 feet instead of 46 feet that's in the rest of Desert Oasis. So be able to put sidewalks on both sides of the roads as well as park on the roads as well. So but we're just going to do single family.
Sure. And then the last question I had was in regards to the L8A section.
Yes.
Any potential commercial development there?
Not at this point. There's about 19 million square feet of commercial space up in the Spa 2 area that I've calculated out. And there's nothing been built at this point.
Right.
One of the reasons why we wanted to reduce it also is because we felt that when commercial does come in the area, it's all going to go along 163rd. And this would be better for smaller boutique kind of a retail type of a project. And we've got all our open space and kind of integrated the commercial into the residential. We're not going to put a block wall around it. We're going to do like a split vinyl fence to make it kind of more open and with all the pedestrian trails going in and out of it.
Sure. Well, thank you. Appreciate the responses.
Thank you.
Chair, that's all for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Keating.
I don't have any questions, but I do have a couple of comments. And I took part in some village planning citizen committees 4 to 5 years ago when we were still under the village plan. And because I live out in that part of town. And I agree with you. The commercial is going to go along 163rd Avenue. That's kind of where the people want it too. The people that took part of that committee, they all said exactly what you're saying. They wanted more boutique stores, like around 163rd Avenue and Joe Max, and closer to that community where you're going to build. So I have no problem with reducing the amount of commercial space in that area, and I don't think the people that live in that area will have any problem with that either. So I completely agree with you on that. And another thing that I really like that you've done in this project, well, first of all, doing the other rooftop fees for the school, that's fantastic. Thank you. I know you don't have to do that. And making the driveways a little bit longer, that's fantastic because, we see that throughout Surprise and the rest of the valley is that, the vehicles are long, the driveways are short. So where do they have to park? Their garages are full of stuff. So, so they park on the street. And that can create problems for, access for police and fire and just for the people that live there or are visiting. So I think that's a great idea. So thank you. I think even before seeing the actual plats, I think that, you're moving in a great direction on this, and I fully support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bash.
No comments.
Commissioner Smith.
I have one question. It's really not more of a comment. When you split the commercial property, what is the little stretch of land that runs down, looks kind of like a flagpole or something? What was the reason for that? When you look at the purple on that, the little sliver of land that goes down, what was the reason for that? Just curiosity.
When Commissioner Smith, when we planned our 106 lots on the entire 25 acres, we needed that little extra space to make everything fit with regards to all the setbacks and the driveways and everything.
So you're just adding some space.
So we're just
where
adding
it comes
space.
out 4.2 houses. Is that correct?
The yellow and the purple will just be one subdivision going forward.
That just couldn't understand why you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Rosenbaum.
I'd like to follow the two gentlemen that preceded me in saying that I think what you're doing is a real plus compared to what you had. And I had the same question on the panhandle there.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
I thought maybe it was egress and entrance or something.
Yeah.
But no other questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I think it's a great project, and I really think that buffering the school from commercial space is really a great idea, and I think it fits our plan much better. I do have a question on our exhibits. So we have exhibit A2, which we have the development standards. And on that, the front setbacks for garage here are 8 feet and 10 feet. And in our written report that we have, they're looking for changing that from 18 to 20. And also the setback for side setback for a garage is 3 feet. And here it's calling for 8 and 10 feet. And I think it's great that you're doing that. I'm just trying to clarify the reports.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Yes, so in the Desert Oasis PAD, the development standards table for medium density residential lots, it envisioned alley loaded products such as 4-packs and 6-packs. So that's why you see that for the garage you have that 3-foot setback, and also if in the PD there are subnotes, which is where we are getting the. Here, let me just go back to the table. So in those subnotes, you have the setbacks for front-facing garages, and that's where that 18-foot setback is. It's actually in a subnote under that development standards table.
Okay, which we apparently don't have. Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions. Are there any other questions from the commission? By the way, if I didn't close the public hearing, I am now. No other questions, and I'd entertain a motion.
I move to recommend. I move to recommend approval to the mayor and city council the major pad amendment for Murano at Desert Oasis Parcel 8.
Second.
Second.
Good, moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion passes 7 votes in favor.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the next item, we have district internal discussion or any direction pertaining to any future agenda items. We have actually, I'll make my comment, I guess. We have one that we'd like to have a discussion on current projects. I know that several of us have discussed up here. We see, these signs up out here in the community where they're building something. Sometimes it's 6 months, 9 months, or whatever. They kind of lose the memory on what it is that they're moving there on. It'd be nice to know that if somebody's going to start a project or something, there might be a way that we could be informed in some way, just to know, kind of keep current on what's going on. Maybe that's a lot to ask, but I don't know. It's an email blast or something like that, or we could discuss that at a future agenda item. And then also a second item is to we've been hearing about the city center for quite some time, and it would be nice to have an update on kind of whatever the vision is that the city has or what's been proposed by the developer on what it is the city center may look like and how we're going to proceed with that. So those are 2 items that I would encourage us, some kind of discussion on. Are there any other?
Chair, I have something to add.
Commissioner Bash.
I was wondering, is this commission involved in any strategic planning with the city as a whole?
Chairman, members, Chairman Commissioner Bash, we could do something like that if it's the will of the commission that you'd like something that kind of a visioning or kind of a strategic planning session on a P&Z commission meeting. We can do something like that.
Well, it just seems to me that we're the ones that approve things going forward to council, and it would behoove us, I think, to be aware of what the overall 3 to 5 to 10 year strategic plan over and above the 2035 plan the city has. And I understand they do have a planning session every year in November.
Commissioner Bash, we used to have a general plan summit that we ended up not renewing in the next general plan. But we did talk about providing the commission with a yearly report on kind of where we were for that year, coming back and doing a presentation to the commission. But if it's the commission's will that you'd like to do something a little bit more than that, then we can, staff can definitely do that.
No, I just think we need to be in lockstep with the city.
Any other? If you see no other comments, is that something that we can work with a little bit and maybe update us? And it might be something we can do in a meeting or over a period of time.
Yeah, Commissioner Chairman, what we'll do is maybe what we start out with is a kind of a yearly review of kind of what we've approved, what we've taken through, what's been approved by council. And then depending on how that goes, if the commission wants more information and more of a kind of a planning session, we can do that as well. Would that work for the commission?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Any other discussions or questions by the commission? Seeing none, then we adjourn the meeting.